Hello. Uh, this will be the first of many podcasts. Podcasts. I will be here almost every week, maybe twice a week. Who knows? Um, I got told by my sister that I'm very good at talking and I should start doing some podcasts because it's a good little bit of motivation for other people when I personally didn't have that motivation. I had to take it in for myself. So I want to talk about the specifics of anime not being just a cartoon. People think anime is, oh, it's a cartoon, it's childish, it's this, it's that, it's XYZ. That is completely not the case. With anime, there's a huge spectrum. You've got shonen, you've got slice of life, you've got XYZ, you've got so many to choose from. Obviously, you've got the mainstream ones like Jujutsu Kaisen, One Piece, Dragon Ball Z, Bleach, Naruto, the big three, which is Bleach, Naruto, One Piece, because they all came out at the same time. But each individual anime teaches you something else about life and about yourself. We'll take Attack on Titan, for example. Attack on Titan, one of the best ever anime pieces of all time, if not one of the best pieces of fiction of all time. The story of Eren Yeager goes as follows. He watches his mom die in front of him by a Titan. Titans are these big, you can go from 10 to 70-foot beings. And the sole purpose of them is to eat humans. They do not have reproductive organs. They do not have digestive organs, so they don't have a stomach. They haven't got a pancreas. They haven't got anything else other than their body. I don't even think they have a brain at this point. Come on now. Fucking fly guy, man. Damn mouth. Anyway, Titans are everywhere. The world's been closed off because Titans just kill, 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 kill. The story of Eren Yeager is one of deception, one of humiliation, one of reaching for greatness when you know it's not going to work. The whole moral of the story is freedom. It's the same as One Piece. However, there's two different sides to it. For example, with Luffy, freedom is he wants to be the king of the pirates, not because of money, not because of fame, but because he will be the most free out of everyone. And from the start of episode 1, where he jumps out of that barrel, he's free. He's a pirate. He's free. He can do whatever he wants. Eren Yeager is different. He thinks freedom means to get rid of the problem. And the problem being Titans. However, that is an impossible task unless you kill the population and restart. So you've got season 1 through 3, where he tries to be this good guy who becomes the savior of the scouts, and who becomes one of the most, one of the most incredible scouts that there is, other than like Levi, Erwin, etc. Eren is the most important character. And in season 4 and in the movies, it's a completely different story. He decides to take matters into his own hands, seeing as he alone has the Attack Titan and the Founding Titan. The Founding Titan can start something called the Rumbling. The Rumbling is basically where all the walls in the world, every single wall that has been built up to protect other people, to protect the civilians from Titans, crash down, because there are, season 2, spoilers, there are Titans inside the walls. Colossal Titans, the 70-foot ones. and he takes matters into his own hands. He decides to start the rumbling at the end of season 4. Him and his brother Zeke, who is the Beast Titan. This is going to be major spoilers for most of the animes I'm talking about, but it talks about freedom, about how free you should be. However, with Eren Yeager, it is a completely different story. He strives for freedom. In season 2, at the end of season 2, he points out to the sea, and he knows that there's places far beyond the sea and far beyond that ocean of just endless water. He knows that he wants to go there, that he wants to be free from titans, from what people expect of him. And it's incredible to think that he is both protagonist and antagonist. Incredible. The whole problem is, at the end, he gets killed. He gets killed once, which then starts the rumbling, and then he gets killed again by his only love, Mikasa. She decapitates him, and he never reached freedom. The good thing about the author of Attack on Titan, he knew it from the start. He knew what he was doing. A lot of people have said that the author wrote backwards, so he knew how the ending was going to end, and he went backwards. And then everything that, from the first episode to the end, everything had meaning. For example, the first episode, you know who the Titan is that killed his mother. You know. I'm not going to spoil it. Just, yeah, watch it. Honestly, if you haven't watched it yet, incredible, immense. But the whole story with Eren, again, is freedom. And he never reaches it. Even the author knew that. The author knew that he was never going to reach freedom. The author knew that he was going to be left in the dust. Armin was the only one who sought freedom, with Mikasa, Jean, Levi, and I think Hanji, and then a couple other people. They all got freedom, but they didn't want it as bad as what Eren did. Eren wanted that so badly, yet he never reached it. And the author, oh my God, he finished the whole manga one before the number of freedom in Japan. The number of freedom, I forgot what it was. I think it might be like 80 or something. He stopped at 79. So Eren, in no universe, can ever reach freedom. He's stuck in an endless loop. He is the one who made his dad kill all of the Rice family except for the father. He was the one who made his dad give him the founding Titan. And it's incredible to see it if you watch it a second time instead of watching it just once. Everything clicks. Everything. And it's beautiful. That is why it's one of the most not influential, one of the most incredible pieces of fiction of all time. If it wasn't for One Piece. One Piece is a completely different story. Luffy is free from the start till right now. It's still going. It's been going for, I think it's been 28 years. So it's older than me. It's older than some people I know. It's older than most of the people that are around right now. One Piece talks about everything. Everything. You've got freedom. You've got government corruption, for example, the Gorosei, as well as Emu. You've got liberation. Luffy, spoiler alert, liberation. He's Nika, the sun god Nika, the warrior of liberation. You've got racism. You've got trafficking. You've got slavery. You've got everything in that specific anime. And people think, oh, it's too long. I can't watch it. I can't watch it. It's too long. Once you finish it, you'll realize there's not enough. Some of it is filler. I can say that. But most of it is so influential. Did you see the protests in, I think it was Chile, where the citizens were fed up of the government and then decided to raid the government office in Chile, and the flag that they held, the straw hat flag, because it's so influential that it changes stuff that is in the real world. There is so much government corruption within this world as well as the One Piece world that One Piece now basically adheres to us, to our thoughts and our ideas and our ideology. So when people say it's just a cartoon, it's so much less than that. No, it's so much more than that, sorry. So much more than that. One Piece talks about how you should not take shit from anyone. You should fight for what you think is right. You've got Smoker, who has his own sense of justice. You've got Akainu, both Marines, own set of justice. Kobe, own sense of justice. All of them have their own sense of justice, and some of them could be bad, for example, Akainu's, and some of them could be good, like Smoker's or Kobe's. It really depends on the person's mindset and how for example, with Akainu, every pirate needs to die. With Smoker, he just wants to make the world a better place and stop with the corruption. That's why he's a captain. Well, he might be a vice admiral. I can't lie. He was a captain, and then I don't know if he became vice admiral Smoker. I'm pretty sure he did in Punk Hazard, maybe. But even so, Garp, still a vice admiral. He is, if not the strongest marine, probably of all time. But he stays a vice admiral because if he becomes an admiral or a fleet admiral, he then has to take orders from the Gorosei and from Imu. The Gorosei is basically the five elders, which are just below Imu, and then you've got the Holy Knights, and then you've got the fleet admiral, admiral, vice admiral, captains, and then just marines. So I'm talking too much about the storyline of it, but it really boils down to what your thought and what your sense is of absolute justice. What yours is, not what your partner's is, not what your friend's is, none of that. What yours is, because everybody has a different meaning of justice. Everybody has a different sense of justice. There's so many different ways to go about it. But it's the great thing about how influential One Piece is how you think about it and how you sense your own moral justice. It also talks about slavery, talks about how, for example, the Buccaneers and the Fishmen, they are both mainly slaves because the Fishmen are, in terms of our world, they are more so African American or African of this, like African descent. So they don't, they're not able to, how do I say it? They're not able to have the same rights. Or, for example, say a fishman walks into a bar, people are going to be starstruck because they're violent. They're not at all. And that is the good thing about One Piece. It fully depicts real world issues like racism, like slavery, and it turns it on its head. Obviously it's bad, but what you come out of that, for example, with Jinbei, he was part of the Sun Pirates. He was a slave, and he had a mark. I think it's on his chest. He has a mark directly on his chest, which shows the celestial dragons and their slavery. And then he follows this. I forgot what his name is. Is it Sam? Fishman Sam, I think, maybe? I don't know. I forgot his name. But he basically forms a group of pirates called the Sun Pirates, which use that brand for good. Come on now. That's perfect. It's so perfect. But obviously, with slavery in real life, that doesn't correlate. But it shows that you can make something good out of what you've been through. Say if you've been a slave for the past 15 years, and then you finally get a chance to escape and be the person that you want to be. You have to make good out of that bad. The bad improves the good. If say you weren't a slave at all, so you had no trauma, no nothing, and you still became, for example, a sun pirate, or you became free, it won't be as impactful to yourself and to the other people than if you were, and if you were traumatized by it but still stood strong, still stood up for what you believed in and what you love, what your values are, what your morals are, everything. Let's move on from One Piece and let's talk about some of the new ones, the newer gens. So obviously Attack on Titan was kind of a new gen. It came out in what I think was 2016, finished in 2019. So it was about 3-4 years. Let's talk about the new gen. Chainsaw Man. Let's talk about that. The whole story of Denji. Denji never had a family. The only person he had is Pochita, which is like a little doggy that was had a little chainsaw as like a little nose, and then had like the handle of what you use for a fucking chainsaw. Obviously, he had no one. His dad died, which therefore means he had to take on the debt from Yakuza, the Yakuza clan, which is like a big clan in Japan. There's tons of ideology with, there's tons of different references, sorry, in anime with the Yakuza. Denji had to take on the debt that his dad had, and he had to pay him himself when he was like 6. Come on. He's 6 years old and the Yakuza is still going after him. So he got rid of his liver. It was either his liver or his kidney. I think it might have been his kidney. He got rid of his eye, got rid of his balls. He got rid of everything just to pay off the Yakuza. Then something happens. The zombie devil. Devils are like a prominent thing in the Chainsaw Man universe. And he comes across the zombie devil. He almost dies. Pochita goes, I want you to show me your dreams. Show me what you want. And out comes Chainsaw Man. That's not the moral of the story. It's not just like an action shonen. There's a deeper meaning. Denji never went to school. He had to fend for himself from an early age. And every time he meets a woman, he wants to have sex with them. He wants to fornicate. He wants to have some intimacy with that woman. Sorry, it was a B. He wants to have some sort of intimacy with said woman. And people take advantage of that. For example, Makima, she finds him. He's the Chainsaw Man devil. No, he's Chainsaw Man. The Chainsaw Man devil is that's like a theory going on in the Chainsaw Man universe. But Makima takes him in and treats him like a dog. Obey me, and you'll get everything you want. If you do this, you'll get that. Transactional. There's no love. However, Denji doesn't see that. He sees a woman's fucking talking to me. Oh my god, a woman's talking to me. Holy shit. I may be able to be intimate with her. I may even get like a kiss or like a hug. Every time Denji gets something from a woman, so for example, if he gets a hug, it then goes up to a kiss. It then goes up, touching boobs. It then goes up to having sex. And he doesn't ever see the peak of his life. His life was always peak. He was at the lowest of the low, rock bottom. And what we normally consider normal was a luxury for him. He got free food. He got a place to stay. He got friends. That's something that we consider as normal and as as ordinary. But with Denji, it's a completely different story because Denji never had that type of stuff. He never had it. And he continues to see the good in people, even though that they're treating him so badly, so horribly. For example, again, Makima. She was treating him so badly, but Denji didn't see that. It's like, for example, if you have a dog, and you, not if you have a dog, it's say if someone has a dog and that person is abusive to that dog. The dog doesn't know any better. The dog knows no better than what he's been raised up to have. So when that dog gets taken away by, I don't fucking know, the RSPCA or PETA or something, and he gets transferred or she gets transferred to a different family who is loving, caring, he's going to see that as a luxury, yet still be skeptical. Denji is a bit of a grey area in between it. Denji sees the good, but still is obedient like a dog. He doesn't get scared easily. He's like, fuck, this is the pinnacle of life. I'm getting fucking paid to kill devils. I'm getting paid to kill this fucking leech devil. Come on now. It's going to be piss easy. I'm going to get like fucking 2 million yen for this shit. And that's the problem with Denji. Denji's always looking for bigger heights, even though that he's so happy within the luxury of his own home and with his friends, not even with his family. His friends are now more so his family. Did I say that right? His friends are more so his family now. Yeah, there we go. It's incredible. There's hello. The fucking bird behind me just fucking flapping its wings. Anyway, yeah, Chainsaw Man is incredible. It talks about sexual assault as well. How both men and women can be victims of sexual assault as well as be the suspect of sexual assault. So, for example, I think it was in episode 5, he got sexually assaulted by one of the women in the devil court. What the fuck is it called? Anyway, um, but he didn't see it as that. Everybody else saw it as that. The audience saw it as, oh my god, he's getting sexually assaulted, and he didn't see it that way. He thought, oh, I'm getting play. I'm getting play. I'm getting game. Even though that I'm drunk out of my fucking skull, I'm getting game. I'm getting game, bro. So Denji doesn't know any better. And it teaches you about how you should still follow your dreams, but also be happy with what you have. Be happy with your friends, your family, the food on your table, the roof under your head, the roof over your head, sorry. How you should be grateful that you get to live like this. I get to be, I'm grateful to have my own garden, to have my own house. I'm grateful to sleep on something. Some people don't get that. It talks about being grateful for what you have. Anyway, let's digress. We'll talk about one more, and then I'm gonna end it because there's so many different ones, and I could speak about it for about fucking 20 hours. We'll talk about one more. We'll talk about Bleach. Bleach is about a kid called Ichigo, hot-headed, red hair. He never knew what a Soul Reaper was, a Shinigami, which is Soul Reaper in Japanese. He didn't know what hollows were. He didn't know what the Soul Society was. He was just a kid who was a bit hot-headed. He'd get into fights. He was like 15. And he got into one fight and he saw something. Well, he's always seen things. He's always seen things because his dad was part of like a morgue. I'm pretty sure it was. I haven't watched it in ages. I need to rewatch it. But he was part of like a morgue. Like he worked at a morgue, and he saw people die endlessly. And every time someone died, he'd see something. He'd see this weird creature. And what he comes to realize via Rukia, it was a hollow. Hollows are the bitterness and the hatred in our souls that don't see the light when they die. So say if you're filled with hatred and you die and you get shot, you get murdered, you blah 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 XYZ. If you're filled with hatred, you will become that hollow. Bleach talks about, for me, in my opinion, it talks about perseverance and determination and discipline. There's a thing called Bankai in Bleach. I'm pretty sure everybody's fucking heard of it at this point. Bankai is this sort of spiritual pressure, which is, for example, your cursed energy, your chakra, your nen, your haki in different animes. Spiritual pressure is that thing that's inside of you that creates the power that you hold. Ichigo never realized until like Thousand Year Blood War he has extreme spiritual pressure. Extreme, like one of the fucking highest, other than like Yamato, Soul King, Yabaha, and like Aizen. He probably has one of the highest ones. Rukia doesn't even have as much as him. But the point I'm trying to get to is Bankai. You're supposed to learn this shit like years upon years upon years, every single day, training at it, getting your Shikai, then getting your Bankai. Ichigo learned that shit in 2 months. Come on. In my opinion, it talks and really adheres to the perseverance of what you want, which is fucking beautiful. Because you think that it's just some other fucking action fucking shonen. You think that it's just some action cartoon. Who gives a fuck? No, it's not that. It's so much fucking more. It is so much more. And I cannot push you enough or persuade you enough or encourage you enough to watch this shit. There are so many different like things. Something's gonna click for you. Something is going to be like, I like that. I really fucking like that. For example, like Baki. A lot of martial artists, they love Baki, even though that sometimes, God forbid, it doesn't make sense. For example, there was one time where this one of the martial artists pulled out some of his hair, jammed it in someone's ear, twisted it, and it ripped out his cochlea. That's just not physically possible. Not physically possible at all. But I digress. There are so many things that you can learn from anime and see hidden meanings and see the themes and really resonate with them. I resonated with One Piece. I resonated with Bleach. I resonated with Attack on Titan. I resonated with JJK, Demon Slayer, Chainsaw Man. Tons, absolute fucking tons. Chainsaw Man is one season. You can get that done in a day. You've got one movie as well. You can get that done in half a day, probably. The, you have to watch it and you have to be a nerd about it to finally understand where people are coming from when they say anime is so good, give it a watch. If you give it a watch, say you fucking watch Naruto, that shit's 700 episodes, and so's Bleach, and so's One Piece. One Piece is 1156 episodes. If you give that a try first, you're not gonna like it. You have to start with smaller ones that have like a smaller storyline, a nice storyline, like Odd Taxi, and then you start getting into the good ones, like the really fucking good ones. You start with Attack on Titan, you're fucked. You start with what the get off me! I can feel the damn spider on me. You start with Attack on Titan, you're fucked, because Attack on Titan is, if not one of the best pieces of fiction of all time, and it deserves every single Grammy, award, Oscar, fucking everything. I don't know why I said Grammy. Grammy's music. Actually, yeah, it does deserve that as well. The soundtrack is beautiful. But give it a watch. Give it a try, at least. If you still don't like it, that's fair enough. Maybe give something else a go. Maybe stick to your friends or stick to your How I Met Your Mother, for example. I love How I Met Your Mother though, and like New Girl. But give it a shot. And if it don't work, it don't work. But yeah, thanks for watching this first episode. I'll probably be doing these once a week or like twice a week. So I'll do one in the middle of the week and then one at the end of the week. Doing like shit like Leo Skeppy does. But yeah, thanks a bunch, and I'll see you when